Hi, welcome to Open Door Yoga. My name is Michelle, and today we're going to go through a short floor yoga practice. Because we're spending the entire time on the floor, think about some comfort props you may want to have with you. You may want to consider having a blanket or towel, something to pad your knees if you're on a hard surface like I am. We're also going to start the practice in Virasana, or hero's pose. And so if that doesn't feel good in your knees, hips, thighs, ankles, anywhere, feel free to grab some type of a lift. I have a yoga block here that I can demonstrate with, but you could also just grab an extra blanket or two. It's probably the comfier option anyway. So take a minute, get everything that you need, then let's get started. We're going to get started in hero's pose or Virasana. So before we transition there, if you'd like to set up your blanket, if you're using one today, you're welcome to do so now. We're going to cover a little bit of ground, so if you want to make a wider base, I would strongly invite you to do so. Take a minute, and then as you're ready to come into our first posture, we're going to make our way to hands and knees with our knees towards the back edge of the blanket. Bring those knees to touch, toe mounts to touch, and then release the tops of your feet down onto the earth. As you feel stable in that lower body, begin to walk your hands back, allowing your hips or your hip points to settle down into the seat that's going to be created between your heels. Hands can come to rest comfortably on your thighs. And check in. For many, this is not going to be a comfortable position in our knees. And if that's the case, you've got options. Option one is to split out your feet just a little bit wider and bring a lift. It could be your yoga block, it could be a stack of blankets underneath your seat. And you can pick a low seat or you could even pick a higher seat. And that's just going to take some of the tension and stress out of the knee joint. So that's option one. If it just doesn't feel comfortable to be down on your knees like this, you can also do this entire beginning of the practice in a comfortable, easy seat on the mat or even in a comfy chair. So whichever seated position you're choosing, let's all begin to stack shoulders over hips, ears over shoulders. Bring your awareness to your breath. Allow your inhales to reach down all the way in to your low ribs and abdomen. And exhaling your breath completely. Take a moment to connect your breath to your physical movement. So perhaps on your inhales, you intentionally reach the crown of your head up towards the sky. And exhales, allow your shoulders to relax down away from your ears. So inhales, you're going to find length through your side bodies. And exhales, you'll find maybe a little bit of length through your neck, the sides of your neck, upper shoulders, upper back. Nice neutral gaze. Release any tension in your neck. We'll just be here for 3 more breath exchanges. You can also take this time to let go of the day, your to-do lists, especially what's going to come up next. Allow yourself to be present, to move with mindfulness and intention. At the end of your next exhale, we'll walk our hands forward to hands and knees. Hands are about shoulder distance apart and wrists are under the shoulders. Walk your knees out slightly and your feet so that they're in line with your hip points, knees directly under your hip points. Toes can be untucked, or you could tuck them. And then on your next breath in, we're going to begin to tilt our tailbone up, and as your belly drops, pull your shoulders back, gaze lifts, Virasana cow pose. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, scoop in your belly to round into your spine, Virasana cat pose. Flow with your breath, keeping that breath-body connection. In cow pose, feel that widening between your collarbones. And as you transition to cat pose, feel that widening between your shoulder blades. Movement starts at the tailbone and works its way up the spine, one vertebra at a time. Let's just take one more cycle through cow and through cat. And then we'll all return to our tabletop spine. From here, begin to extend your arms forward. And as you lower your forehead down towards the earth, we're going to keep our hips stacked on top of our knees, puppy pose. Allow the physical sensation of your heart melting down towards the earth to settle into your body. Keep sending your breath all the way down into those low ribs, filling your lung space entirely. You may notice some sensation in your side bodies, especially through your chest. On your next inhale, walk it back up. We're going to make our way to seated. So you can cross at the ankles and send your weight over them. Or you can rock onto one hip and come around the side. As you find yourself in seated, we're going to turn to face the long edge of the mat. You can take time to make your blanket look pretty again if you'd like. And then we're going to extend our right leg out about 45 degrees. Left knee's bent. You could bring the sole of your left foot to the inside lining of your right thigh, or bring it out slightly if that's more comfortable in your body. As you get set up, take a peek down at your legs. Our goal here is to have our left knee about in this straight line with the sole of our right foot. And so it might take a little bit of adjusting here to get yourself in a good spot. And then as you're ready, bring your fingertips behind you. Inhale, reach the crown of your head up towards the sky. Create space between your vertebrae. And exhale, use that space to twist gently, just enough so that your sternum is shining past your big toes. Inhale, tall spine, feel that stretch in your side bodies. And exhale, hinge at your hips. So hands can come to the mat, they can come to rest on your leg. Or your fingertips could stay behind you, pressing into the earth, just to find a little bit of lift. If you're feeling tight in your low back, I know I am today, down into your hamstring, hinging might not feel very accessible. So you could take this as a chance to just practice creating length through your back body, keeping a nice opening through your chest. Stay here for a couple more breaths. If you folded on your next inhale, rise back up, unwind. We're going to plant our left hand off to the side of our left knee. Begin to shift your weight forward. And as you do so, you can bring the sole of your right foot down, lift up off your left hip, and then shift your left foot back. So it's kind of like this little swiping motion. And then from here, rise on up, sweep that arm up and overhead. Full breath into your right rib cage. Exhale, nice long spine. If it feels good in your body, on your next breath in, you could bring the palm of your hand behind your head and slowly begin to shine your sternum up towards the sky. Gaze naturally follows. Keep grounding down through the pinky edge of your right foot. Inhale, unwind, and rise up to a tall spine. Take a moment to take any adjustments that you need, and then we'll hinge at our hips, extending our arms long. So I'm going to scoot back just to make sure you can still see me. Again, allow your forehead to reach down towards the earth. And if the earth feels too far away, grab an extra blanket or two, or come back to your blocks. Bring them under your forehead to bring the ground up to you. Inhale, rise up to a flat spine. Exhale, feel your weight centered. And then inhale, twist to the right. Right fingertips reach up towards the sky, gaze past them. Exhale, thread the needle. Draw your right shoulder down towards the earth. Left hand can stay where it is. You could extend it long, or you could even take a bind if that feels good. On your next exhale, bring your left hand back under your shoulder if it's not there already. Inhale, unwind, open back up. And exhale, release. Bring your right knee back under that right hip point, cross at the ankles, or make our way back to seated. We're going to take that whole sequence to the other side. So take a moment to find your leg position with your left leg extended, right knee bent. And again, check out your right knee and your left foot. As we transition into that kind of gait flow portion of this sequence, it's going to be easier if your knee and your foot are in somewhat of alignment. So take a minute here to get situated. And then bring your fingertips behind you. Inhale, tall spine, reach the crown of your head up as you ground down through both sitting bones. Exhale, slight twist to the left. Inhale, tall spine. And exhale, hinge forward or press into those fingertips. If you are in this upright position, see if you can keep your shoulders stacked over your hips, keeping that chest open. So it's an opportunity to practice nice posture, feeling that sensation between your back body. And then maybe as you get settled in, we press ever so slightly more into those fingertips to send that heart space forward a bit. Keep grounding down through the back of your left leg. It's a little bit of flexion here in your left ankle. Inhale, rise if you folded. Exhale, plant that right hand. And over your next inhale, begin to send that weight forward. You can bring your left hand down. Pivot back on that right foot. And find length through your left side body. On your next inhale, if it feels good, open up through your chest. Slight twist here in your upper spine. And if you're taking this twist or not, release any tension in your neck. Allow your neck or your head to be an extension of your spine. So your gaze is going to follow wherever your sternum leads. Inhale, unwind, rise back up. Take a moment to get situated, and then we'll hinge at our hips together and fold forwards. Deep breaths, reconnect that breath in that body. Inhale, walk your hands back. Exhale, get grounded, feel stable. Then inhale, open up to the left. Gaze lifts past those left fingertips. And exhale, thread the needle. Draw that left shoulder down towards the earth. Find the position of your right hand, right arm that feels comfortable to you. And then breathe deep. Exhale, bring your right hand under your right shoulder. Inhale, unwind and open all the way back up. Exhale, release. Bring your left knee back under your hip point. Cross at your ankles. Make your way back to seated. We're going to end this practice in seated. So you can choose a couple options. You could sit in Sukhasana or easy seat, or you could cross back here more at your ankles and find Siddhasana or sage pose. So find what feels comfortable to you, and then we'll find that spine, that tall spine that we started with, stacking our shoulders over our hips, ears over our shoulders. Reach the crown of your head up towards the sky. Exhale, sink those shoulders down away from the ears. Release your hands down by your side. Inhale, sweep those arms up and overhead. Fingertips reach up towards the sky. Shoulders slide down. Pause here for one more breath in. And then exhale, draw your hands down through heart center. From here, you're more than welcome to make your way to the Shavasana of your choice, or if you'd like to take a seated meditation, this is a nice opportunity to do so as well. Thank you for sharing this practice with me today. Namaste.